You still need to wear your ring. Even when it's tough, even when we're not seeing eye to eye, like, we should both still wear a ring. Like, that's the commitment that you make. That's part of being married. I need to know, like, 24/7, you're committing to this marriage by wearing this wedding ring.
I agree with that. Moving forward, starting anew today, the commitment is to wear it at all times from this day forward. Cool. To me, recommitting to wearing our rings feels like such a big deal, probably even bigger than our actual wedding night. Because back then, we're both just committing to a stranger. Since then, we've gotten to know each other, and we've had some struggles, but we've been able to move past them. And now we feel like we both know who we're choosing to commit to. And to me, I think that's a much more powerful and bigger commitment. Cool.
Twinning.
Twinning. Boom.
It looks nice.
All right, cool. Yep. That'll be our first one, and then we can save the rest for the guests.
Yeah.
Any successful marriage involves incorporating friends and family into the marriage. So today, our couples are getting together with their friends and their family in any way that feels comfortable to them. This could always be awkward and challenging, but it is especially true for couples who met as strangers on their wedding day.
Hey!
What's going on? I'm excited to have people over here for the first time, because for a lot of the people who were on my guest list, they never met my wife. And that's an important.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Little Black Book. You already know what time it is, baby. We're gonna give you guys a review of Married at First Sight with Michael and Meka. Hey, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for the notification of the uploads, baby. And for those of you who are returnees, mineral gang, mineral gang. You ain't got the minerals, baby. Listen, you muddy, lean, let's get into the video. Alright, so for me, the Meka and the Michael situation has been so interesting because I think the U-turn has been crazy. I honestly didn't think they were going to make it, but they somehow managed to turn it around so slightly. Now, they're not having sex, they're not yet intimate, but they are working towards that stage. And I think for me, what the interesting thing is that, you know, the original complaints were originally with the fact that there was a time frame on sex. There was obviously a lack of coherency between the two of them and trust. And, you know, now we're here at a stage where I think the first thing we saw was them changing a picture on changing a picture in the house or whatever. And what was interesting is that one thing I picked up from Meka, and I think this episode and last episode, is the tone, and I don't like it. I'm going to be very honest with you. I think tone is so important when you're trying to get someone to understand something. When you want somebody to come across to your viewpoint, there's a way to communicate that. Now, when you communicate with a certain tone of authority, what that does, especially to...
It's hard to wear it.
Is it that whenever our marriage get hard, you just want to take it off? Like, is it like a thing where you feel like it's not mandatory?
Man is indicate that you think you're the man and I'm the woman. And I know you might take that a bit wrongly, take it how you want to take it, you know what I mean. And unfortunately, the way males are set up with pride and ego, they will never have it, right? It won't last long. And something I've realized about Meka is that she's got a parent voice. That parent voice is very annoying, especially in a relationship when you are a man who thinks they know what they're talking about and know where they're going. Then that parent voice can be very, very demeaning. And she did it again. It's almost like sometimes I think she just forgets that she's not a parent, but she's obviously been in that role for so long. It is her. Do you know what I mean? And it's hard to strip that away. But it's just the harshness of her tone sometimes, like when she was discussing about the ring situation, and I totally agree with her. She had every right to bring up the ring situation. I don't know why Michael decided that he wanted to take off the ring. I know why, but I'm saying I don't know why he decided to take off the ring and then expect there not to be repercussions from that. Do you get me? And if you're in a marriage, this is long term, this is commitment, this is obviously if things go wrong, we got to hold each other accountable. Like, so it's not just a simple case of you know, whenever you feel like you dump your ring, which is what she was making a point for. Now, if this had been communicated very efficiently, we would be having so much greater emphasis and effectuality in the relationship. And oftentimes, this is where a lot of people lose themselves in relationships when it comes to I guess, relating what they want to happen. Now, oftentimes things get lost in translation. We're speaking English, but the English you're speaking is slightly different to mine. Yeah, and so whenever you want to communicate something to somebody, you've got to be able to communicate that in a way that they hopefully won't take offensively, and you do that by being not cautious, but just checking the way that you deliver it with certain words and the emphasis and the tone that you take when delivering it. You know what I'm saying? And I think when you say obviously, and one thing that she does as well is that she fires two or three questions at quick speed in one whole go. So it's one question, but it's like 3 different questions inside of that one question, and it can be overbearing and overloading. Do you know what I mean? So she just needs to learn how to calm that down a little bit, just so that she can be able to then, you know, really release what she feels is issues at the hand, and then Michael can respond accordingly. So that was my kind of pick up there. I think with the ring thing as well, I've already said it. The reason why he had took the ring off in the first place was because of the overcriticalness of himself. He's very, very perfectionist, and he mentions that later on when he's talking to the mum. He's a perfectionist when it comes to relationship. He expects his relationship to be perfect, and because he's got that perfectionist mindset. And I think it's one of the things about self-actualization or self-realization in the person who pulls away. They have a perfectionist mindset, and what happens is they draw away from people because what they don't want to do is get it wrong. And I know that because I have that same kind of thing. You don't want to get it wrong. So what you do is you pull away from people and try to act it out first to see. When you don't get it right in front of people, you feel embarrassed, you feel ashamed, and you know, then that's where the pressure and the stress comes in, because you're thinking about what they're thinking about you. Do you feel me? And I think that's where Michael is at the moment, with the overcriticalness in how he's dealing with the situation. Because, what, bro, you think you failed? Bro, how can you think you failed already? You made a mistake, and you said something that you shouldn't have said, maybe. Yeah? Which you're still denying. Because I don't know what the mistake is. Other than that, I don't know what the mistake is. There was no other complaints that were really brought.
And take stock and kind of review everything that happened in Panama. For me, I felt like I had failed in our marriage. And so it was hard to wear it.
So what's the mistake? Do you feel me? So I think obviously in the scenario, I'm watching Michael and Meka, and I'm like, okay, Michael, so your decision to take out the ring now, he eventually agreed that, look, you know, after talking to her, you know what, you're absolutely right. I must keep my ring on at all times, regardless of the situation. And for Meka, I think she needs that security of knowing that this guy's not just going to dump his stuff when he finishes, or something like when he reaches breaking point or reaches distress. And this is where leadership comes in. Leadership isn't a quality that is necessarily highlighted until things are going wrong. When things are going wrong, whoever stands up oftentimes is the greatest leader. In a time of crisis, who stands up and delivers a plan? In a time of crisis, who stands up and delivers direction? Those are the real leaders. Because at that time, that's when people really need them. Crisis hit, that's when we needed them. And I think for them to, you know, we're just looking for an opportunity for Michael to really take the lead and be a leader in all things. Not saying that he isn't one, just saying obviously, just saying for the relationship, you know, she would want somebody to take control of the reins, and I think it will come in time, because he's starting to grow a bit more in terms of his release of personality, etc., etc. Is beginning to grow a bit more, and confidence is expanding as well. So, you know, it could happen.
Past them. And now we feel like we both know who we're choosing to commit to. And to me, I think that's a much more powerful and bigger commitment.
And then I also as well realized that, you know what, he accepted the recommitment, and he said it's even bigger than obviously the original one. And I think because this acceptance, this putting the ring back on actually was a signal of the commitment, and a signal that this person still cares for me. And I think that's where he's suffering. It's suffering in the sense of maybe not feeling like Meka cares for him, and that then also pushes more pressure onto him as an individual. But definitely, I feel like, you know, when the recommitment came up, when he put the rings back on, and he said some things I could remember, and it was definitely more about the fact that, do you know what, I now know this person cares for me. Because if you're asking me to recommit, that means there's something real still on the other side. Do you get me? That's where I feel like his mind is going to. That's why he's recommitting.
You know, being that you guys are super close, is there any advice that you think I should kind of take heed to, or things that I should be prepared for, things I should be mindful of?
Obviously, Michael then spoke to Meka's mum, and it's obviously interesting because Meka's mum and her speak quite alike in terms of the mannerisms. But what I loved is that the couple and their families were great together. They were all genuine. They understood each other. It looked like they were having fun. Like, do you know what I mean? Unproblematic black families. Like, your fun is not... Obviously, you know, there may have been some fathers not present, but at the end of the day, fam, what we're seeing there is strictly you know, some great family time, bonding, people laughing and joking. You want to have that when you get into a relationship with somebody, and when you move in with somebody especially. All you want to be able to do is be able to acclimatize with one another. You want to be able to make it work, and we're seeing that it is beginning to work and beginning to click. And I love the fact that Michael went and spoke to her mum and asked her, look, is there anything I should know in terms of the fact that, you know, towards Meka, so that it'll make my life a little bit easier, make her life a bit easier. And the mum just said, look, just be patient with each other. And they've got all the time in the world, supposedly. So yeah, I think with Michael and Meka, I think it was very important that, you know, as they're spending time together, that they're growing interpersonally, having, you know, some good chats to be able to decipher each individual person's mind, just to see if this is really what they really want. Yeah, in truth. I think also as well that, okay, how long is it? So yeah, I mean, for me, I think the Michael Meka situation is gonna get better. I think they will grow. I think they will be more attuned. Whether they'll make it to the end is another scenario, another situation. I think just kind of watching it and just kind of seeing how even Meka responded amongst a group of the girls, you can see that they were even surprised that they were now sleeping in the same bed. That's how far they've come. And that comes from the fact that they were dedicated to spending time with one another and getting to know each other and doing something different. Doing the same thing over and over again is the definition of insanity. Do you understand? So it's about doing something different, maneuvering it. And so yeah, that's what was happening there. So yeah, Father God. So yeah, guys, if you like what we do, make sure you comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And for those of you who are returnees, you already know what it is. It's Mineral Gang. Hey, don't worry about that. You get me? Are you muddy, or lean? You ain't got the minerals, baby. Appreciate you. Stay locked in for another reviews.